Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome to PRIDECAST. I am your host, Tony Lopez, and I am so happy to have one of my favorite humans on this planet, Abby Rose, here with us. Abby has done Scream, which was her first Cosmo show, and she just recently starred as Indigo Blue in Murder at the Manor. She's got accolades to spare. I am so glad you're here. I love the hair. We have to highlight that. I already took a moment when she got into the Zoom, but you look great.
I feel like it's giving wine aunt, which is why I love it so much. I would love to be the cool aunt. That's like my dream, like goal in life is to be the cool aunt. That's like, your mom's crazy. Like she doesn't know what she's talking. Like she's crazy.
Right. Like you're like disciplining her kids, and then she gets onto them like, why are you so mad at them? You were way worse when you were a child too.
Exactly.
Like,
oh my gosh.
I've seen the TikToks. I think we've all seen the TikToks.
Yes.
On the topic of TikTok here, when were you gonna tell us that you are like low-key an influencer? You have quite a few videos with multiple millions, not thousands, not couple thousands, millions of views, Abby.
Wait, don't expose me like this. Oh my gosh.
I just like that I recently found it on a rabbit hole on TikTok, and I saw it was you, and I was like, oh, I'll follow Abby, and I'll like lurk for a little bit. Let's just see what kind of funny stuff she's done. And I'm like 10 million views.
I think one time, do you remember like the weird beef between like Doja Cat and then that one
Yes.
like, snap? I made a video where I was like, why is this 21-year-old beefing with I don't even know, like this child, like why are you beefing with a child? And then people were like, speak on it. And then the other people were like, guys, it's not beef, like let's like be nice and like, but yeah.
There was this one girl, she was saying something about like planets not really being planets, and you were like, fuck you, we're gonna do the Lorax filter. It was so funny.
I love crazy people on the internet. That's how you get famous, is you respond. You respond to crazy people on the internet. Like a couple years ago, I made a video where someone was like, guys, the Bible is real because like the Dead Sea exists. And I was like, guys, Harry Potter is real because like British people exist. Or she was like, the planets aren't real because the Bible says so. And I was like, what's the most ridiculous book series I can think of right now in the moment? Warrior Cats.
Yes!
I read them back in elementary school. I was like, guys, wild cat colonies live in your backyard. And I have proof, because in the Warrior Cats manga series, to like make her also look, because that's so stupid to be like, the planets aren't real.
Right.
Where am I? What is Earth? What are we on?
What are we on?
What?
No. Ironically enough, I definitely went because I remember reading Warrior Cats, so I went down like a Reddit rabbit hole on Warrior Cats because of that TikTok. I was like, I wonder what's been happening with Warrior Cats lately.
They're like zombie cats, I think.
I think
now?
so. Listen, dude. I just work here. We're 5 minutes in, and this is already the gayest interview we've conducted.
No,
I haven't asked any of the questions yet.
I read this series in elementary school, and then like I stopped, because then it gets to a point where it's like, okay, how much more of like these cats can you like? It's like, we get it, like,
right?
You know, they're living their best life out here in the mountains or whatever. And then like every once in a while, for some reason, I'll get like a video on my For You page about like warrior cats.
The call of the wild.
It's like they know.
Called to return.
Yeah, it's like they know. Like, how do you know? How do they? The For You page knows everything. You think like they're like dead cats, and like they've gone back to the past, and like they're like talked about like the first ever cats, and it's like
Is this Avengers but with just cats?
It really is.
It's giving franchising before franchising was a thing.
It's so, because and also here's the other thing too. The name, like Aaron, because the author's Aaron Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
It's multiple authors.
It's just a writer's bet being passed on from author to author. Like,
exactly.
Stop this, bitch.
It's so I love to imagine that there's just one who just has the most insane ideas and doesn't clear it with the rest of them, and then the rest of them are like, we have to do like damage control.
What do you identify as based on your gender and sexual orientation, if you're comfortable with sharing?
Yeah, so I identify as bisexual. So that just basically means I'm attracted to anyone.
This is sort of a three-parter question, all kind of condensed into one mega question. So feel free to break it down into the parts. What is your journey in theater and in discovering your queer identity? And has one ever influenced the other?
Okay, so my theater journey, I started theater in 5th grade. And the reason why I started was because my parents were like, you need to do something because you don't do anything. So if you don't do something, we're going to put you in sports. And I was like, I can't do sports. Like, oh my God. So I like had some friends who were in theater and I was like, okay, I'm going to do theater because they're doing theater. And then, so this was 4th grade, and then 5th grade, I started doing it. And I just loved it. Like, it's one of those things where it's one of the most stressful experiences sometimes ever, but I keep coming back, you know, like it keeps pulling me in, every year. So I did it through middle school. I did some summer camps, you know, came to Texas, and I continued doing theater because like it got to a point where I was like, this is like my thing. Like I had some really great theater teachers and I loved, I always like found myself in positions of leadership, in like classes and like theater groups and stuff. And so I eventually was like, I think this is something I could see myself doing as a career. So now I am a T-cert major. My queer experience, I was introduced to the community around like middle school. Like I feel like that's pretty common for a lot of people.
Right.
Like, you know, there's always the people who are like, you know, I've known since I was born, but then, you know, it takes a little while for some people. And for me, it was like realizing like, okay, I had like crushes on boys in elementary school. And then I had some girls that I like really, really admired. And I was like, oh, well, I just like, you know, they're friends.
They're cute.
Like, you know, like, you know, they're just really, really good friends. And then I think eventually in middle school, I was like, oh. So eventually, like I started, you know, like theater really helped because obviously a lot of queer people find like a community within theater. So I like ended up meeting people of like different like gender orientation and different sexual orientations. And I just felt like really at home. I just felt like really safe and comfortable to, you know, be myself and express myself. And, you know, I'm lucky to have a lot of supporting friends who have like helped me, and, you know, made me feel comfortable to tell them these things. And yeah.
What are your biggest influences as a creator / storyteller? This could be as simple as like friends and family. It could be an artist you admire, be it like musician, actor, director, all kinds of stuff like that. What influences the kind of work that you choose to do?
I think my biggest influence when working is always the people that I'm working with, because I think like a really good a cast bond can like make or break the show, and the relationships that the cast has backstage can really like can show through on stage. Will color me intrigued.
Okay. This is my intrigued crayon.
What color is it?
Intrigue.
Okay.
I want to watch you as Indigo Blue one more time, knowing that you're low-key famous on TikTok, that you're like tier 3 famous on TikTok.
Tier 3.
This is a tough one. This is a toughie right here.
Okay.
This is not just for Cosmo, but for all of the theater you've experienced thus far. You've kind of touched on it already. But do you feel represented? And if not, why?
So, short answer is no.
Okay.
The long answer is lately the trend that I notice in theater. And like when you think about theater, like you think of like Broadway, right? Okay. So think of like Broadway shows that like feature or kind of surround like queer characters. Everything is very over the top and flamboyant and glitter and sparkles and like heels and everything, which is great because that absolutely represents a part of the community. But there's also a larger part of the community that are like me. We're kind of just like here, you know? Like we're kind of like vibing. And for me, like that represented, like it is representation, but it's not representation for everyone.
Right.
Personally, I hate glitter, so like that's not gonna fly for me. It gets everywhere and it's just gross, and it doesn't like you. No matter how hard you wash your hands, it's always there. I got a problem with glitter, man. But it's not. But so for me, being someone who's like stereotypically seen to be like cut and like center in the middle, like that kind of representation doesn't work for me. Right. And I think in like television and media, I think it's great. And I think like in smaller theaters and like student-led theater, I think you find much more diverse representation. But I think when you think about like, you know, the big leagues of theater, like Broadway, off-Broadway, I don't really feel represented there.
All right. If Poppy was in Murder at the Manor, which character would Poppy play?
You look at me. Poppy, look at me. Who would you play? Would you play if you were in it?
It's kind of giving Sarah's character with like...
Oh my god, because I was gonna say, no, I'm just gonna hold her like this, and she's gonna hate it, but she's gonna have to deal with it. She chases squirrels, like, even when they're not there. There's this tree in my dad's backyard. She looks so scared. There's this tree in my dad's backyard that there used to be there, and every time we let her out, she'll like run and jump and jump. And I don't think she's murderous, but she's also kind of just a little stupid. And I don't think Sarah's character was stupid. She's about to jump off. No, she's not. Good girl. I don't think Sarah's character was stupid, but she was definitely a little goofy, a little silly. And Poppy is also... she's also definitely a little silly, a little goofy, a little quirky. Aren't you?
Thank you so much, Abby, for talking to us. We thank you for all of the work that you've done. We love you so, so, so much. Are there any parting words that you have for our wonderful listeners?
Go give your dog or cat or pet a kiss.
Aw,
go give them a hug and a kiss, because yesterday I watched a video where this woman talked about her dead dog and I cried. So go give them a kiss.
Way to lighten the mood there.
But you know, it happens. Give them a kiss.
It's true. But go give your dog a kiss. You heard the woman. She knows what she's talking about.
Do it. Go
you
now.
gotta do it now. It's the law now here at Cosmo. This has been PRIDECAST, a show by Cosmo to highlight the best and brightest of our troop. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to make your own yes, and to always slay hard.
Slay hard.
Slay.